I'll be honest, when Volvo first unveiled the C40, I was a little confused as to where it fit in. It's a compact crossover with low 200 miles of range and 300 kilowatts of power, and Volvo already has one of those, the XC40 Recharge, and its sibling Polestar has the Polestar 2 with a dual motor configuration that does just the same thing. So the question is, where exactly does the C40, which is more expensive than both of those cars, fit into Volvo's lineup?
It's definitely a handsome car. To about the midway point, it's basically the same as the XC40 Recharge, but after that there's a swooping roofline and a very distinctive rear. The LED taillights are a particular triumph, Volvo's designers taking inspiration from battery meters for the segmented vertical sections. The actual battery is underneath the cabin, a 78 kilowatt-hour pack that Volvo expects to manage 225 miles of range in the EPA's testing. That's more than the XC40 can do at 208 miles, but less than the Polestar 2 dual motor, that offers 233 miles. For recharging, there's 150 kilowatt DC fast charger support. Volvo says you could go from 10 to 80% in about 37 minutes. For power, there are two electric motors, one for each axle. Together you get 300 kilowatts or 402 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds. Now we might associate Volvo with safety more than speed, but the instantaneously arriving 487 pound-foot of torque means this feels like the fastest model in the company's lineup. Driving it is simple too. Volvo doesn't mess around with half a dozen drive modes, just regular or off-road. You can turn the one-pedal driving mode on or off, using just the accelerator to modulate speed, and bring the C40 to a complete stop without needing to touch the brake pedal. It all feels swift and stable and easy, and the low centre of gravity means it corners better than you might expect for a crossover too. Inside, Volvo has used recycled materials for the seats, carpets and the clever illuminated trim, which is modelled on topographic maps of Sweden. The interior is leather-free, and though there's still work to be done making all of the plastics and other materials entirely eco-friendly, I'm glad to see Volvo at least making a start, but not sacrificing style in the process. Android Automotive OS is standard on a portrait touchscreen, and being able to rely on Google Maps and the Google Assistant is a nice change from the underwhelming systems most other automakers install. The downsides to the C40 are fairly obvious. The sloping roof eats into rear seat headroom and cargo space. Those with frequent backseat passengers will want to skip to the XC40, and rear visibility isn't great either. You can get more range elsewhere too, and that might be Volvo's biggest headache. Launching at just shy of $59,000 before destination and the US federal tax incentive for EVs, the C40 is more expensive than the XC40 and the Polestar 2 too. Volvo does load its more stylish EV up with plenty of comfort and active safety features as standard though.
In the end, I think there probably is more than enough room for the C40 alongside the XC40 Recharge and the Polestar 2 and whatever else Volvo has planned. If there's room in the auto world for a BMW X4 and an X5 for many different sizes of Buick SUV and crossover, then there's lots of room for many different sizes of electric crossover too. If Volvo's to hit its target of an all-electric range by 2030, it's going to need a lot of electric vehicles to do that. And that means a lot of variations on the theme and a lot of variations in car, and I think that's something that C40 starts off pretty damn well.